Um, okay, so welcome. I have with me Derek. Derek is a big fan of Enchantress style decks, and that's what the topic of the night's going to be. So, Derek, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself and where we can find you?
Hello everybody. I'm Derek, Ashale CCG on Twitter and just Ashale on Twitch. And also I'm working on a podcast called Tybalt's Lotus where we explain how bad cards are great and how great cards are kind of terrible.
In fact, they just released their first episode as of today when we record this, which is the 28th of February. So make sure you check that out. I'll include a link to all of Derek's information, his Twitter, his Twitch, and his new podcast that he's doing with Game Jester down below. So make sure you check him out and check out the podcast. It seems like it's going to be an exciting time. Okay, so what brought you into the world of Enchantress?
Honestly, I believe I just saw the card, it's not Mesa, which one is it? God,
Was it?
Verdurin, there we
Yeah,
go.
the green one.
Yeah, the green one that does like all that glitters or trying to think of the name of the other card. What's the name of the other one?
Yeah, it gets
The
but
older
it gets bigger
one that
whenever you
does
have
only enchantments.
is it the one that gets bigger for every enchantment that you have? Or is it the one that you
Yeah,
draw?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
Okay. So post production I'll figure that card out and I'll link up a couple as you'll see in the video. So what formats do you normally play Enchantress with?
I mostly play my Enchantress in Modern, though I'm going to be working on Arena a build for Enchantress, as well as trying to build a Enchantress deck on MTGO later on.
So would you say that the beginnings of Enchantress was based around these creatures that you would play, and then at that point start playing various enchantments, drawing cards, and then trying to overwhelm your opponent? That was kind of the base
Yeah,
point, right?
yeah, a little bit, as well as enchantments like Prison Realm, things like that, just general control enchantments.
Yep. And then you had cards like Wanderlust, which dealt damage to the creature's owner every turn. Um, Lure, which was part of a famous Basilisk combo. You put the Lure on a Basilisk, all the creatures had to block, and so it's been around since the beginning. These enchantment-based decks or enchantment combos, and then modern, I feel like, has branched off into two different styles. We've got the Derek style. Yours is more of a prisony uh, enchantress deck.
Yeah,
I
like a
remember.
control, and then just swinging in with the big creature later on. Hopefully, it has flying, trample, something like that to get through the what they have left.
And then the other style that has started coming around was when they changed Shroud to Hexproof, which meant that you could target your creature but not anybody else. They kind of combined that with, a Slippery Bogle or some other cheap evasive creatures that your opponent couldn't deal with. Why not throw a pair of pants on them? Why not throw on 15 pairs of pants? And I feel like that's the two styles that have developed is, you know, your style where you try to control the game, and then from there, you just overwhelm your opponent, through card advantage, through oppressive effects, prison style. And then there's the Bogles, which is an all in, and we just go for it. Suit them up and just
All in
attack.
hexproof trap thing.
Yep. So, have you played Bogles before?
I have not played them, but I have played against them. So I do have some experience in that regard.
Okay, but you're definitely more of a fan of the longer games, I take it.
Uh, kind of, sort of. Not like most of the really oppressive modern decks where it's like turn 4. I mostly like to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. Okay, and then you said you're gonna work on a commander deck, hopefully for Enchantress, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who are you thinking about
Still
using?
trying to decide who I'm going to use as the
Oh,
commander,
okay.
though.
So
That's the tough part.
that is because there's in my eyes, I have two different styles. I have the Valduk, the Keeper of the Flames, who's more of a Bogle style, just without the hexproof. But he can win really quickly if
Yeah.
you let him go unchecked. But he's more of an all-in, and if
Although
anybody's
you can strap them on him.
yeah, yeah, you can
You can
throw.
strap hexproof pants on him.
Yes, you can. Yeah, he does have the bonus of being able to use the artifacts too, the equipment. But then Theros came out with two uncommons, and I was thoroughly impressed with them. Which one of the two is your favorite? So the first one is Siona.
Probably. See, what does she do again,
She
Siona?
she is when she enters the battlefield, you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You can reveal an aura and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. And then whenever an aura becomes attached to a creature you control, you make a 1/1 human knight or human soldier, and choose a 2/2 for 3. So but with a couple pairs of pants, she can get pretty ridiculous, and she comes with an army. So then the other one is
Honestly,
oh
wait, Sisay? No, not Sisay. Sisay's an older card. What is it?
there was
I'm just trying to think of it, and it's like
what's the effect? Do you remember?
blanking in my mind. I do not, and it's bugging me so bad.
So there was Sisay's there's Shauna, Sisay's legacy, which is she can't be the target of abilities your opponent controls, and she gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So she makes a good partner commander for Siona. So the other one in the just see if you can figure it out, and then let me know. The other one is I'm gonna screw the name up and probably get blasted for it. Eutropia. She's the
Oh yeah, yeah, I know that one.
she's got the constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it gains flying till end. She's also a 3 and a 2/2. So I like the fact that the new set is giving us an option for standard, but also for brawl and commander, like an easy way. It's an uncommon. You can pick it up for 25, 50 cents, at your local store. So, and in fact, as you know,
And it's very tough to choose which one because they're both really good, honestly.
yeah, I found that the abilities are pretty strong for, especially for an uncommon. Usually you see those as like a commander, precon, a rare card or something, something in the precon set. So I was really happy when I saw those, and with you talking about Enchantress so much, it really got my juices going for building, for building them up in a commander deck.
Well, I'm glad I could inspire you a little bit.
Well, it's hard not to.
Did you ever get those done, by the way?
I have one done here, and the other one right here, rubber banded, unsleeved. But I did stick with my restrictions. No rares, no mythics, and I feel like they're going to be fun. We're going to finish up a couple more, and then me and my kids are going to, we're just going to have fun playing with the various guilds, of different flavors. But let's see. I'm gonna pull up EDH Rec right now because in case you don't know, they do very many themes that you can take a quick look at, and I'm gonna take a rundown of some of the more popular enchantress style commanders that there are, and then maybe we'll figure out which one you were looking for.
I think it might be Shauna, actually.
She was from Dominaria.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Of course, I'm surprised you didn't think of Alea.
I actually have that as a commander deck right across the room.
I feel like she's right up your alley too. Our
Oh,
legendary
she's definitely
fairy
good.
warlock.
Who creates more tokens.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the fact that it's a cast trigger, those are really powerful.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
do very much enjoy my tokens.
Now, did you make it a brawl deck or is it a commander deck?
It is a straight commander. It's got, it still doesn't have everything I want in it. I'm planning to get a Anointed Procession from one of my friends to put in there.
Yep.
Because it's basically required.
Because it's busted with her. So
Oh
then,
yeah, it is beautiful.
So then there's also the two from last year. We have two. Oh, I'm gonna get this one screwed up. Two Vaza, the Sunlit. She's the Merfolk shaman in Bant. She's a 1/1, but she gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Whenever you cast your first enchantment each turn, draw a card. So she came in the Estrid the Mast Precon, which was the Bant, Enchantments Matter deck. So those are two more top ones. And then another one of my first commander decks that I bought was Daxos the Returned. He was another commander product. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you get an experience counter, and then you can make enchantment creatures that their power and toughness are equal to the number of experience counters you have. So there's a great a wide variety of colors and that you can go into and play styles. Because black and white tends to be more controlling. Bant you can kind of go a little crazy with either control or more in aggro. So what colors is your modern deck?
My modern is Selesnya.
Selesnya. Okay. What would you say like 3 of the top cards are in the deck?
Actually, I can pull it up right now real quick.
Okay. That would also be great.
Because I've got it saved on Aetherhub.
Yeah, Aether Hub is a great site. I love it. I'll also put a link to the deck down in the description too. That way you can take a look at it. Okay, let me see.
Just finding this real quick, and then I'll send it right over to you.
So, Calyx, Destiny's Hand. That's a card that I've been interested in, the new Planeswalker. Is it? Yeah, Calyx, right?
Yeah, Calyx.
Kind of surprised that he doesn't see more play. It just seems kind of like a fun card.
I actually run him in mine.
Okay.
Right now I only have a 1 of, but I want to have a 2 of.
Yeah.
So eventually, hopefully with these packs that I have right here, I'll get there.
There you go.
So we just kind of bought them on a whim.
That's kind of the best. So speaking of Theros, and I return to it, that set is full of enchantments and auras and just good fun creatures, good wholesome magic. What kind of cards do you look for when you see a set like this?
Generally, I look for things like Setessan Champion, or like in Eldraine, All That Glitters, things like that,
Yep, there you go.
really boost up the
So
decks.
the champion, it's got Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. I mean, that's value right there. Don't forget about the Destiny Spinner. Creatures, enchantment spells you control can't be countered. That's a
Oh
and
yeah,
then
I do like that one as well.
she's a mana sink too. For 4 mana, target land becomes an XX elemental until end of turn, where X is the number of enchantments you control. And then
Okay,
oh, I
I
see.
did hold up.
Okay,
Ethereal Armor is what I was thinking of earlier.
that's the one. Yeah, Ethereal Armor. That is a solid card. Yeah, that's like the backbone. Oh, we got Sentinel's Eyes. That's another good one.
Most people don't really think of that one, but I think it's a really solid card.
Yeah, the downside. People avoid auras because if the creature dies, you just got 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. You're down. But that escape on enchantment, that's just some icing on the cake. Because generally a deck like that, they don't have the graveyard recursion. So they get to just turn the dead cards in the graveyard into just pure value. Yeah, your Ethereal Armor, that's an amazing common. Which is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. You've got
And then
your
I've got a Alpha Authority.
Alpha Authority. Oh, yeah. Which is, do you want to explain what that card is?
If you like, I just like it because of actually both of its effects, to be honest.
What are those effects?
The first effect is that it makes the creature hexproof. So say you strap this thing onto like let's say the Yavimaya Enchantress.
Yep.
Strap that thing onto her. She's getting boosted by the enchantment, and she has hexproof and can't be blocked by more than one creature.
That's that is pretty solid. And I never realized how many creatures reduce the cost of enchantments. You got the
Oh yeah, there's a
Starfield Mystic.
bunch.
I knew about that one from Core 20. Enchantment spells
Yeah.
cost 1 less, and then whenever enchantment you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you get to you put a counter on this card. So that creature only gets bigger if they decide to try and mess with you. And then Herald of the Pantheon is one that I actually had never seen before.
Oh really?
Yeah, do you want to explain what that card does?
It's just a 2-drop, 1 and a green. It makes enchantments 1 less to cast, and when you cast an enchantment, you gain a life. So it's kind of helping you stabilize.
That is a solid card. And then there was the new one from this set that just dropped from Theros. It's I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's another creature that and it seems like a lot of these cost reductions tend to be in white. There's obviously that green one that you just mentioned, but most of them I've been noticing seem to be white. But if you want to give me a second to find it, I remember it's a Pegasus.
Oh yeah, okay. Is that the one that creates the tokens?
Well, there's that one. Oh no, this one's a Griffin. He's a 1/2 flying aura spells you cast. So this one only does auras. So this is more for Bogle's type deck. But auras cost 1 less to cast. It's for 2 mana. So if you wanted to go down that route. No, the one you're thinking of is Archon of Sun's Grace. That's the 4 mana 3/4 flying lifelink. Pegasus creatures you control have lifelink. Constellation. Whenever enchantment enters under your control, make a 2/2 white Pegasus with flying. So you can make a quick army with that one.
Oh yeah, that is a formidable card.
If I don't know if you watched it, but the World Championships, uh, Polio played that as a sideboard card in his control deck, and it just took everybody by surprise. Because if you let it go unchecked, all of your sagas and stuff are now, you know,
Oh yeah, they're
especially
just giving you creatures.
yeah, and then it's got that keyword that all red decks hate, lifelink. Now, Sigil of the Empty Throne. That's a hell of a card. You want to explain that one?
Yeah, it's a 5-drop, much less than my deck because I have various ways to decrease the cost of elements. Not elements, enchantments. Why did I say elements? And whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield.
That's a great game ender right there.
Oh yeah, and that's also roughly a third of my deck is enchantments.
Yep. So like, you know what? This aura might not do much. I mean, especially with the Sentinel's Eyes, you can just, oh, you killed an angel? Well, guess what? So you can just keep making angels.
Oh yeah, kill an angel, gain an angel.
And then for Commander, I've been noticing that there's a lot of effects that you can return enchantment cards either to your hand, to the battlefield, when the creature either enters or leaves. Uh, would you say those kind of effects kind of get squashed out in Modern? Or do you think they could have their home?
Let's see. I'm trying to pull one up real quick.
So this one's a 6-drop, so obviously this one is strictly for limited, or
Yeah.
commander. But when it dies, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I can't think of another one, but I'd put it in.
There's a few in Modern that are actually really good.
Yeah, now you got me going through my.
If I could find one, I'd tell you about it, but I've seen a couple that actually just like drop it straight onto the battlefield that cost much less.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Enchantment on battlefield.
now are those like a main deck card in your eyes, or are those more of a sideboard card?
I'd say those are sideboard cards for second game.
Okay.
Like if you want to pull something off that's kind of slick and unexpected,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that.
You got a Tragic Poet that got brought into Modern through Dominaria. That's an old Urza's block card, which is the 1-drop for 1 white. It's a 1/1. You can tap it and sacrifice it. Return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. And then Auramancer.
Yep, Lost
That's-
Auramancers.
The one that I'm looking at is just Auramancer. The 3-drop.
Oh, really?
When it enters the battlefield, you return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand.
The one that I found is a 4-drop that has Vanishing 3.
Okay.
And it says, when it dies, if it had no time counters on it, you may search your library for an enchantment card and put it onto the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library.
That is a super solid card. It's like a Modern Legal Academy Rector.
Yeah.
Just not quite as good, since if it dies before its time, well, you're out of luck. But
Yeah.
if they don't
And then
answer
we've
it,
also, we got to open the vaults as well.
yep, that's a nice solid way. Yeah.
I might just throw that into my Alayla commander, actually.
Yeah.
It's not that much either. It's only like $3.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid cards that you can. I mean, even if you just, when I was building my 2 decks that are just commons and uncommons, and I just went through it's mostly Modern Legal cards. Theros added quite a bit of good cards. Dominaria had a few, like what is it, on Sarah's Wings.
Yeah, on Sarah's Wings, really good.
I
Four
really like
drop.
that card. Yeah, it's like a build your own Sarah Angel, And then let's see. Oh, I mean, the last set, Throne of Eldraine had a small sub enchantment theme. You had glittering. Was it glittering? No, all that glitters and Flutterfox. You had your shambling. What was that one?
Shambling
Suit.
Shambling Suit.
Yeah.
3-drop artifact. Power increases equal to the number of artifacts and enchantments you control.
Yeah. So even that one had a nice little small sub theme of enchantments and R's and going on adventures, but that's not really related to that. But I don't know. I just love the adventure mechanic. But let's see. So
Oh yeah, they've really been showing it some love.
what's so like when you're looking through the the new set spoilers and the cards that just get released, what are some key abilities that you think are really good on, say, an aura for a creature? Like, what are you looking for?
Excel effects are always really good. I like draw effects. Draw effects are always welcome on an aura.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
General power boost and evasiveness.
so things like trample, flying, first strike, something like that.
Yeah, first strike's great.
First strike is amazing. I've really grown to love that ability. Yeah, and I would say even red and black have been getting in on the game too, with black having a lot of auras that when this creature dies, it comes back. So you're not even down the creature.
Oh yeah, like Kaya's ghost form.
Yep, yep. I love that card.
That's the
I'm
first one to come to mind when it comes to black.
yeah. There's been a couple. Sometimes they have if the creature dies, it you get to draw cards off of them, and then black's really fond of, say, plus X minus X abilities, so that way you can use it as removal, or you can use it as to boost your creature to try and either get through, force that block, or get that extra damage in. So I know that
Oh yeah, everyone loves that extra damage.
I know Dominaria had quite a few black enchantments to go with it too. And then blue and their love of theft. Can't forget that. Bolus, what is it? In Bolus's clutches, I think it is.
In Bolus's clutches, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
just
one.
I'll just outright steal something. uh,
Oh, and another fun one. What set was it in? I can't remember what set it was in, but it's Eyes Everywhere.
oh yes, that was Ravnica Allegiance, I want to say.
Okay, yeah, it's a 4-drop, and then you can pay to switch that with any one of their permanents.
Yep. Yeah, so they get to continue to scry, but if they don't have blue, well, you just stole their best thing, and they just get a scry one now every turn. Yeah, that was
Yup.
I always pick that heavily in draft, and I've actually been sliding into quite a few commander decks because, I mean, being able to seal things, even if it's for one turn, is still a strong effect. Even if they're just gonna, because they can only use the theft ability on their turn. So whatever you steal, you've got it for that turn. There's no takebacks after that.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
No take backsies.
yeah, no takebacksies. Let's see. Yeah, that's well, and then green's got a whole bunch of say like land enchantments too, where they can either make extra mana, like the classic Wild Growth, Utopia Sprawls, New Horizons. But one of my favorite cards, Squirrel Nest. You know why? Who doesn't like a land that can make
Oh, I love
squirrels?
Squirrel Nest.
So, they keep putting new versions of these out. War of the Spark had New Horizons, which gives the land 2 mana of any one color, and it gets to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. I want to say that might have been a reprint from, I think, Omnicat, maybe, but, I mean, it's still, they've been doing a few versions of those kinds of effects, like when this land Ura comes into play, either draw a card or boost a creature or make squirrels, you know. So, yep, eyes everywhere. Ravnica Allegiance.
Squirrel.
Well, the classic blue
I
one
miss
was.
squirrels.
Oh yeah, I know. We gotta go to the Unland to play with squirrels now.
Right? Why can't we have them in Modern?
Well, Squirrel's Nest
We've got
is
what?
in Modern, but
We've got like 3 support cards for squirrels
yeah.
in Modern.
The Omens
It's sad.
from
Oh yeah, the omens are really good.
yeah, I really like those ones. Uh,
That was actually surprising how good they are.
yeah, at first some of them I was kind of like, but then seeing them in play, they tend to get better. That's kind of like you stare at a card in a vacuum and, you don't think of what it is, but then you play it and you go, that's, like, I figured the blue one would see play, but, I mean, the white one's solid, making
Yeah.
token. The green one ramps you. The black one
And
returns
you're
a
just
creature.
like, wow.
The black one returns a creature to your hand. And, the red one shocks things, I think it is. It can shock something. And then you
I
can,
think so, yeah.
pay to sack and scry. Because once that enchantment's done, those, they don't really serve any purpose. So it's almost like a fixed. Remember the trial cards from?
Oh yeah. I remember
Yeah,
the crowd cards.
because a lot of times you wanted to use them because usually the trials were pretty strong, but then you had to play the cartouches to go with them. Is it cartouche or cartouche? I think it's cartouche, right?
I'm not really sure.
But but you had to pair one and one together to get the full effect, And
Yeah.
I like how these ones, it's you play them, but then you're not binded to another type of card
And
to get a use out
these
of them.
ones you don't rely on something else.
Yeah, they all have that same
Yeah.
second ability. I rather enjoyed those. I mean, I have to say that my first enchantment set was Urza's Block. I didn't know that was an enchantment set for about 20 years. It wasn't until I came back to Magic during Aether Revolt that I found out it was actually an enchantment set and not an artifact set, because all the artifacts were busted. But I've
Oh yeah.
always loved,
Artifacts were crazy.
yeah, when you ban a card and the month it gets released, yeah, they tend to be a little busted. But I always enjoyed trying to work these style of decks. There was Rhea, which she got bonuses for enchantments. They had a few creatures that kind of did that stuff, and I always wanted to play them, but people just play better cards than me, and I could never keep up. So,
Oh yeah, some people just have a lot of money to throw around.
yeah, but I'm bringing my jank. They're not keeping me from it.
Oh yeah. I'll always go for the drink.
Yep. Let's see. So, what would you say is your favorite enchantment-based card in Theros?
In Theros?
Well, the new one.
Yeah. Honestly, probably, I'd say Calyx.
Yeah. It's
Like,
just
hands down, he is
fun.
beautiful.
Yeah, he's beautiful. He's fun. It's kind of like I like those niche planeswalkers that like Kea. She's my absolute favorite. But both versions of her, you generally have to build that deck around her. Like she doesn't just slot into every black and Orzhov deck. Just like Caleb doesn't,
Oh, yeah.
or Calyx doesn't just fit into every Selesnya deck. But when he does,
And you
he is
specifically need
strong.
enchantments on.
Yep.
Like that neg 3 is beautiful removal.
Yep. Yeah, it turns everything into a Oblivion ring, And then
And which is never a bad thing.
no, it's definitely not. I like Rise to Glory, which is the 5-drop. It's 3 white black. It's a sorcerer. Choose one or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return target aura from the graveyard to the battlefield. So you put the creature in, and then you can enchant it. I'm actually going to slot that into my Orzhov Draxos commander deck. I have the card out. I just kind of got lazy, never actually put it in. But I figured that one is it's not super powerful, but to me it's fun, and it kind of like we have a whole story with Draxos where he was a hero. He dies. You get the so you have him, as the white blue creature.
Yeah.
Who does kind of like the Gonti ability, where you can steal cards off the top of your opponent's deck. He dies. They make a commander product out of him, where he's Orzhov now. He's in the underworld. He's got the mask on and everything like that. And now, and he cares about enchantments. And I wonder how, because they didn't release the story, I don't know how he becomes a demigod. But, now he's out. He's white. And he's a demigod.
Heliod,
Actually. Released him?
Yep.
Okay.
Heliod basically took him for his own.
As a
because,
champion?
Heliod's selfish and wanted something against Elspeth.
And why not bring her, because were they lovers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were.
Right. Okay. Yep. So, why not take him then? Yeah, that makes complete sense from a lore perspective. And now he's a demigod. So, it's almost like you can see why, like, the enchantments matter when he's dead. He's, like, getting into that realm of becoming a demigod almost. In a almost mechanical kind of way. He goes from being this hero, dies, but he's not dead. He's just waiting to get out and become this demigod to be used against the love of his life. So he and just I think because it captures that whole like kind of arc, and kind of closes it out, and it's a fun card. It kind of does what the enchantment based decks have a hard time with. You kill the creature, you lose the aura. Well, now I play one card and I get 2 back, So I have a feeling it's going to be a commander slash, because everything's playable in commander. It's a commander slash limited card, but that's like the neat effects I like to look forward to, Are there any enchantments that you can think of as being almost there and you wish were just a little bit more playable than they are?
That's a good question. Honestly, it's gonna sound weird because it's being used in standard a lot. But I kind of wish Elspeth Conquers Death was a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's always a
Like,
difference
it's
between...
because it's a 5-drop.
Yeah. Modern doesn't... It's not too forgiving when you start doing your 5-drops. But, no,
Oh, yeah.
I completely understand that one. Where in Standard, in Control Shell, like, you can last that long. Standard tends to be a little bit slower. You know, unless you're facing against red. But, yeah, it's just... In other formats, it's just not quite there yet, you know? The one that
Yeah, I know.
mine, once again, is Orzhov. The Ethereal, was it Absolution? The 6-drop from Ravnica Allegiance. It's the 4 white-black enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1.
Oh, yeah.
Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. And then you can exile creatures to make a 1/1. That's really now a 2/2 with flying. Once again, that's one of those cards that it barely makes the cutoff in a control deck in Standard. But unfortunately, you just can't play it in, once again, other formats because a 6-drop, I mean, if a 4 and 5-drop can't make it, what does a 6-drop stand a chance, you know? Unless you're a Titan or something like that, but
Yeah.
that's a whole different ball game. At that point, you're not dropping the Absolution or the other fun enchantments. You're just like, I'm just gonna prime time and win. I'll be boring. No.
Yup.
Yeah. So you're hoping to see another version of your Planeswalker come out maybe in a Commander set, of Calyx, or a core set.
That would probably be, or heck, like, what if, I know they said there's only one other Planeswalker, so he's not going to be there, but Ikoria would be cool.
Yeah.
But I
It's almost
think they said it's one old one and one new one.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they give him his time to shine. Because they do kind of do a lot of, a Planeswalker shows up once and then, I know we got a lot of them, but, so we can't keep doing War of the Spark. Thank the Lord. I mean, you can't just keep War of the Sparking it up.
There were some mistakes made there.
Yeah, there was.
It was fun, but things like 3 Fairy and Narset
Yeah.
were very much bad ideas.
But you know what? We don't get those. Sometimes you got to push it to, because there was a lot of very fair and or weaker Planeswalkers in the set. We always focus on those main ones, but like Domrai, he's a pretty solid guy. He's not overpowered.
Yeah.
It brought in my favorite Walker, which is the Shield Mage. He's
Oh yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just like him as a character. He just seems kind of like out of his place, but yet he's trying his best, and I hope I get to see him again one day. Teo, the Shield Mage, and
Yeah, Teo's pretty nice. I actually have him in my binder of Planeswalkers right here.
yeah, I don't have the stained glass version. I got to buy one of those, but I've got the Japanese in a
Here we go.
foil. Is that a foil one?
Yep, foil Teo.
Yeah.
And then somewhere around here I have... Oh wait, it's in my Alayla deck. I have the Japanese one.
Yep. Yeah, because my kids since my kids use my decks, I tend not to play the put the Japanese versions in decks, but
Yeah.
I'm actually going through the Planeswalker decks real quick on Scryfall just to make sure that there's not I don't think there is, but make sure that there's not a Aura Matters card that I somehow missed, but
Yeah,
It's just the classic. If you control your planeswalker deck, you know, you either get a bonus or you can find them, kind of thing. And yeah, nothing else really sticks out to me. So it actually I do like the Ashiok's Erasure because it's a counterspell enchantment. So do you remember what that one does? It's a 4-drop with flash.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when it enters the battlefield, you exile the spell. It's not even countered, so you can get around some those effects. And then they can't cast spells with the same name. And then when it leaves the battlefield, you return that card. I like how they kind of pushed that envelope a little bit with what you can do with an enchantment, in the set, a little bit without breaking things. We can have fun without breaking everything in wide. Like Underworld Breach, because we needed another one of those. But it's like similar effects are banned for a reason. Oh, you know which one we totally forgot to talk about?
Oh,
This is a good way to, I think, wrap up our little chat here. What is it? The Igmatic Incarnation. The pod enchantment spell, or the pod enchantment. The 2 green blue. Beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another enchantment. If you do, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice enchantment's converted mana cost. Then put that card into the battlefield, shuffle your deck. So you can keep it going though by using enchantment creatures because they're enchantments. I think that's a pretty fun card, in the right build.
yeah. I think it's a good one, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we really not sure if we really missed anything else. So what is besides the Planeswalker, what is your favorite enchantment of all time?
Favorite enchantment of all time? Honestly, if we're going like way back, like all through every set, it's got to be pacifism. Because pacifism is just it's so iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had so many versions of that. I mean, Throne of Eldraine just had what is it? Trapped in a Tower. They even tied it into a fairy tale, But it's basically the same effect. I mean, you're right. It is like the classic white enchantment for letting white do their thing.
It is like the enchantment.
My absolute favorite enchantment. I got to go black with this. It's going to cost 3 black mana. Do you know what it is? Necropotence.
Oh, yep.
Because paying life to draw cards, when I first saw that card, when I first started playing Magic back in Ice Age, I fell in love. I said, I'll pay some life, draw some cards. I don't care what happens. I don't care if they get exiled.
I will gladly pay life.
So there you got it. Pacifism on one end, Necropotence on the other end. One of us is lawful, the other one is greedy. So, and once again, this interview was brought to you by the letter E for Enchantress. But definitely my guest here, Derek. He's a great guy, and make sure you catch him on Twitter on Twitch and now on his new podcast. And once again, I'm going to have all those linked to the bottom. So, and if you have any ideas for future guests that I should have a nice chat with, a little Majin coffee talk, even though neither of us are... Are you drinking coffee? You're not drinking coffee, are you?
No, actually, I'm drinking tea right now.
Yeah, I'm just drinking water. So it's not really a coffee talk, but, we'll go with that. If you have any guests or themes or topics that you would like me to talk about with somebody, just let me know, and I'll see about getting that done. So thank you so much, Derek, and have a great night.
And thank you for having me, man.
Okay.